Hi Kaylee, how you doing? Okay, so I got your work up here. First thing we here have are the banners here. I want to jump over here, and I just kind of pulled this up right here from what is due this week. It's Web Digital Media. It's one site and one additional example of your choosing. That would be that additional choosing would be here. Let me show you. If we go back over to week one, we can see. Here, web and digital media, a one functioning website. So you must show a 3-page site. What does that mean? That means you can either show the site itself. What I would recommend is this. In your actual portfolio itself, I would show like 3 pages of the site. Okay, then I'd put a link down here that actually goes to your website. So that way you can, the viewer, potential employer, portfolio reviewer can look at this piece at the website, and say either, okay, wow, this looks good, I want to see more, and be able to click right to the site to check the functionality, or can just stop and say, okay, I've seen enough, I think I'm going to move on, and then move on to this page, which would be the banners. See what I'm saying? So we have to show a website in there. If you don't have a live website, you can show 3 pages deep, 3 static pages, on just in your website. Just throw 3 static pages on the website in case your URL is not up and running. Okay, so we're missing the website. Then we have the banners, and we see over here that the banners. Now, this is digital media, so this is a little confusing in a lot of ways because it says to include banners. A lot of banners are static. They just read just like this. I shouldn't say they're static because all banners will click to the site, right? But I think one thing that would be beneficial for you to show in your website is how you can show your knowledge of digital media in your presentation of this banner. And I think the best way to do that is to animate the headline. So just have the banner opens. This just animates in and either stays or animates in, fades in, and then fades back out, or I'm sorry, just fades in and then stays. Okay, or you could have Melanie Eats and Sweets fade in, and then this is an example. At the bottom, you could have this popping in and popping out, not flashing and not but just fading in and fading out. Eat at Melanie's or something like that. So you have the banner, and then right down here you have Eat at Melanie's, located right down there, and that fades in and fades out. What is this doing? Is it making the banner any better? Not necessarily. Is it hurting the banner? No. What is it doing? It's showing the viewer, the potential employer, that you have the ability to code animations into your banners. And that's just it's a really easy little thing that shows a lot of underlying skill. It's not difficult to do whatsoever. Animating text in Photoshop to create a GIF banner is simple. So I would recommend moving in that direction. Out of these two, I would go with this one. I think the alignment's better. This is weird up here, the way this is left aligned, this is right aligned. I'm sorry, this is left aligned, this is right aligned. It's kind of creates this boxy, just kind of uncomfortable negative space, uncomfortable relationship between the address and the call to action, as it were. Okay. Next, package design. I think package design looks really, really good. There's a couple of things I would recommend here. In your shots, you got everything so jumbled together and your shots are so close on top of here. What I would recommend is this. I would recommend reshooting these pieces. Spread those out a little bit, get back a few feet and shoot them from there. I'm looking at this piece right here, and I'm not sure, is that a light box that you've built? If it is, it's a really, really good idea. However, it looks like it's pretty small. Recommendation, you can get the same effect by go to the craft store and buy 2 poster boards or 2 foam core boards, white, about 2 by 3 feet each. Okay, lay one down on the desk, lay one down on the wall behind it at a 90-degree angle. That way, then take 3 lights, one in front over here, one in front over here, and then one from behind and above up here. Okay, what is that going to do? That's going to give you some really soft shadows on a very, very neutral background. Instead of seeing things in the background, when you don't want things like that, because the viewer's going to look at that and do exactly what I did. The mind's going to wander and go, oh, wow, did you make a light box for that? Instead of the viewer looking at this, concentrating on the actual the build out of the mock-up of the six-pack, the graphics and the bottles themselves, as well as how the graphics are adhered to the bottles and how the graphics conform to the bottles as well as the box. That's what we want to see. We don't want the viewer to get lost and start wondering about, hey, I wonder how she did that background. Do you see what I'm saying? So I would recommend reshooting these pieces. Give it a little bit more distance. Whenever you shoot product shots, it's always a good idea to shoot them on an angle. Look how much more interesting that looks than that. Okay, and then finally you have your publication design. And if we take a look at publication design over here, and this is really important. A lot of students, okay, now it's an annual report, some multi-page editorial design, cover table of contents, and at least one spread, tabloid design. Why are we looking for this in publication design? The reason we're looking at this is looking for multi-page layout skills. And this is something that the department has determined that would be good for students to be able to show upon their completion of the program, is to show potential employers that they have the ability to set up multi-page editorial files and graphics as such. So that's why we're asking for something that has a cover, a table of contents, and at least one spread. Right now you've got the spread, but you don't have a cover and a table of contents. Okay, so could this fit into a digital grid system with a tabloid design? Technically, yes, it could, because you're showing a grid design of 2-column grid on each page. It's pretty solid 2-column grid. However, you don't have a whole lot of horizontal alignment, and I think that's part of the piece that you wanted. So that's okay. One suggestion for this piece, if you continue to use with it, I personally wouldn't. I would personally design a magazine cover, a table of contents, and an interior spread. I think that would be the best way to go as far as publication design. I think it would show the most versatility for you as a designer. I don't know how, it's easy for me to say that because I would be able to design that very quickly. So I'm not saying, I'm not discounting how long it's going to take you to design that. So I'm not just saying, oh yeah, just go ahead and design that. I don't want you to think that. I understand time constraints are of the essence here. So I don't want you to think I'm saying, just go design a magazine cover. That's how I would personally approach it. I think that would be the best representative piece for publication design in your portfolio. But if you do decide to use this piece as the tabloid design, let me see. What I would recommend doing is I would recommend removing the boxes from the background and assembling your type right on the page. That way you'll have more of, it won't be so many okay, this is one element, this is one element, this is one element, this is one element, this is one. They'll all kind of live together in a synergy, kind of harmoniously, instead of having these stuck in boxes. You've got some typographic widows. Basically, that would be considered a widow. That's tough. I mean, you've got this center aligned, this justified type. So technically, those aren't widows, but they're awfully short lines. I think they should be okay. Your indent is too far in the composition. You're indenting 6 or 7 characters. You only need to indent 2, maybe 3 characters. And other than that, that is what I have. So if you have any questions, comments, or if I can clarify anything, please feel free to let me know, and I'll be glad to do so. Okay, thanks, Kaylee.